Hi all, okay, so it's finished loading. We're now back up and running with the Revit model. Um, so as you can see, we've got some plants, we've got some shelves, and we've got some cabinets at the back there. So one thing that we just need to do is we need to start moving these layouts around just to match how the shop would look in reality. So first of all, I'm just going to use this cabinet here, just nice and simple to use. Maybe as the reception desk or where people would come up to buy things. We can position this wherever we want just by simply clicking, moving and dragging. So we'll just drop that there for now. And then following on from that, we then just need to start dropping other cabinets around. So we can just quite simply Control C, Control V, and then just position the cabinets where we want. So I'm just going to position this on the back wall. And we're just going to Control V again, and I'm just going to start dropping some of these around. And just as we remember from before, unfortunately the 3D view has actually closed, but we can just quickly reopen that back up, and there we see it. We've got our cabinets. You can just see the trees just here. The view, as I've mentioned before, the view is actually cutting some of the trees off, so it's not shown in full detail, but we'll pan around and we'll have a look at those a bit later. So one thing to note with the cabinets, you can actually see the cabinet just at the front here has actually got the doors showing outwards to the public. So it may be that we want to spin that around so that the doors close inwards, and we can use that as storage beneath the cabinet. But it's all very dependent on how the particular items are built. There are lots of different items we can use, whether that's a display case like we've currently got, or whether it's got a door on. I mean, this one in particular has doors on the back and has display case type function on the front, but it could be that we actually have a proper reception desk with a till, and all those are just families that we can just quite easily create. There is also a website that we can go to download some of these families. They can be quite easy to generate ourselves, though, if that's something that we wanted to do. So just going back to the 2D floor plate, we obviously have some shelves. Quite important in a shop is the shelving, so we just need to drag some of these across. So I'm just Control C, Control V, and moving them to where I feel is the best place. So as we go in, these shelves in particular were wall standing shelves. We can actually see that these are currently in the wrong direction. So we just move this. We need to rotate. Just quite simply use this rotate function, and we can just move it around and then move it to suit. We'll just check the 3D to see the positioning, and we can see that that's now positioned. These shelves could be used to put our t-shirts on or anything like that. So rather than rotate those, I'm just going to delete, and then I'm going to click on the one that I want, and I'm just going to copy it a number of times. And then I'm just going to select a couple and move them into position. So once we've got a few there, I'm just going to move a couple more across and maybe put some down on this bottom elevation at the bottom. And then maybe we want to put some behind the trees. So I'm just going to do the same again. I'm going to bring the whole lot, and then I'm going to rotate all of them as a group, and then move them all into the relevant position. So in this instance, we can't fit all of them, so I'm just going to remove two, and we're just going to have two of them. And then we can select them again and just move them into position. You can see that this is very simple drag and drop facility. It does take a little bit of time. We just need to make sure that we do spend that time just to get it right in the first instance, because it can save us a lot of time in the future. Now we've got those. It may be that actually there's some shelving in the middle. So rather than shelving, I'm just for ease, I'm just going to put some cabinets straight down the central line. This may be clothing racks or other similar items. And then when we go to our 3D view, we can then start to see how that's all built up. So I'm just going to go into my visibility graphics. This is all just various different items that we can have. For this, I just need to turn on a box, so then we can start to pull up the various different items. Okay, so I've just gone into a different view, not including the roof, just so we can start to have a look at what it looks like inside. And as you can see, we've now started to generate our shop layout. There are a number of ways, if we wanted to, which we can export this. We can either export it into various different viewers, whether that's the by simply clicking up to here, camera. We can then add a camera detail, which starts to load in our camera. From here, we can start to add in various different textures and materials onto our floors, walls, or cabinets. So we can start to add color. We could also start to add in various other different items, such as electrical sockets or other. For the purpose of this, I'm not going to demonstrate any of those, but something else that we can also do is we can start to do full 3D renders. So when we go into view, we hit render in gallery, a render gallery or render in cloud, or we can actually render within the software itself. It comes up with another box, which then we have to set all the various settings. These are single 2D renders that we can do. We then start to set a few different parameters such as lighting, the background such as sky if it's external, and then we can start to do our renders. However, because we haven't set any of the architectural parameters such as wall colors, most of the renders on this won't be working. So a process that we have to go through before we do any of the renders is to go through and select all these materials and select the final finishes. That can take quite a lot of time. Most of the items, such as the trees, will already have the finishes in, and as we can see those in the 3D view, they are already green. However, all of these other items are just in brick or standard grey materials, which shows that there is actually no colour associated. Although if we did try to render, the cabinets would turn out to be red, which obviously we know wouldn't be a typical colour. So that's just a really quick overview. Something else that we can do following on from a render is we can put it into the Oculus Rift headset, or we can put it into the Samsung headset or anything that we need to. But I suppose most importantly is once we have the render file, we can then start to put it into any software that's available for gaming, and we can actually start to bring things to life, such as opening and closing doors. This software gives us the 3D space arrangement that we need, and we can then start to automate things. Because we know what's inside this space, going through this door should be quite a simple and easy parameter once we're in the gaming software. However, this software does not allow us to do any animation, so it would need to be a different piece of software to do. So that's a quick overview. Hopefully that shows you, gives you a bit of detail. So thank you for watching. Thanks.